Hey, good day, everybody. My name is Doug Ferguson, aka Beard for Mental Health, and I just want to talk to you today about a few things. One of the things that I posted the other day was that it's important to talk about your mental health, and that comes from a thing from the Depression Project, but something that I've learned about my own recovery with depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, etc. Often it's very difficult to describe how we're feeling, and so often talking about it helps to help other people understand where we're at. People like you and I. Um, Often we don't even understand ourselves. So if you can find somebody who is willing to listen, sit down, listen in love, be comforting. If not, then by all means call 811 or one of the prevention lines, whichever one is relevant to you, which I will have posted for Canada shortly on the page itself. I just want to let you know that my life's been a few struggles lately. I struggle the beginning of every month probably because of my financial difficulties. And so I get through lots of times paying for my stuff and realize I just don't have any money left to lots of times to even eat for the rest of the month. And I become so depressed. I used to make a lot of money, and that used not be an issue. I used to be able to. There was a time when I could go out and eat what I wanted, when I wanted, whenever I wanted, and it didn't matter how much it cost. Well, within reason, but I could go spend $100 a night on food without blinking an eye. And now I don't even have $100 a month to spend. So it's that's a struggle for me. So every year about this time, I struggle pretty hard. So I figured it's a good time to do a video and talk about where I'm at, but also some lessons that I've learned and whatnot. So I guess I don't like being depressed. I don't like how my anxiety feeds my depression. I don't like how my depression feeds my anxiety. I'm trying very hard these days to recognize and expel suicidal thoughts from my head. Um, but I'm so sleep deprived lately. I just not getting enough sleep, and so it's just so hard every day. Every day is just so hard. I'm blessed to have Living Faith Chapel to come to a couple 3 days a week to read and study, where I can be around people. Because if I'm not around people for more than a couple days, then that switch I've talked about before switches off, and I tend to get into hibernate mode. It's like I was telling somebody the other day. It's like when my depression starts to get bad, I I hide in the basement or bedroom, depending on what level I'm at. And it's like I leave the front door open, hoping somebody's going to save me, but that's not how it works. Um, I'm not saying I haven't been saved that way, but that's not really how it works. In most of my life, it's been me reaching out to somebody else after I've already crashed or attempted suicide. It's not easy. There's a fine line there between recognizing your symptoms, which we're going to get into some in a bit here, and doing something about those symptoms. So one of the big things for me personally is getting and staying connected and doing things all the time. So right now I am in the 7 days a week. I'm busy Sunday with church. Monday at the church here, I just come in here and read and volunteer. Tuesday, I have church and groups. Wednesday, I stay home, but I do an online Bible study at nighttime. Thursday, I come in for a half day, and then we start Celebrate Recovery this week, which is a new group starting here, which is dealing with all kinds of hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And then Friday is my self-care day, which I try to stay away from all stuff and just go for walks, spend time, watch movies. It's just about me. It's really honestly selfishly about me. And then Saturday I often just it's whatever, hanging out with friends, doing things here and there, which I guess is on its way self-care. But then also sometimes I'm volunteering, doing this thing or that thing or the other thing. So I'm reaching out. I'm not struggling today, but I'm trying to reach out so that I don't get into such of a big struggle. Um, I'm super excited about the new group starting, Celebrate Recovery, which is from Rick Warren's church, Saddleback Church in. It's a full curriculum step study. It's a guideline to deal with things that runs along the 12 correlating 12. It runs on the 8 principles of the Beatitudes and the correlating 12 steps. And I've been through AA, NA. I use those steps. I've been through treatment center, which was a lifesaver in my life. I went straight from the treatment center and the 12 steps, working the full 12 steps, into working the 12 steps again from Celebrate Recovery. And so this will be my third time. But this time I'm leading the group, which I'm kind of excited about because it helps give me purpose. And so when I've depressed, it's usually oftentimes because I've lost purpose. I'm broke. I have no purpose. Life sucks. I have no purpose. Blah, 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 blah. And it's often purpose because I'm one of those people that likes to have a purpose and a plan in my life. So what I've done recently is I've started this page, which is a great outlet for me to try and help others and do what I can. So let's go through a couple of things here. Let's run through some things here real quick, and we'll get into like mental health goals. But some things that to pay attention to as you develop, and I will post this all online. This will all be posted afterwards. Is a wellness toolbox, but it's they call it a wellness toolbox, but it's like recognizing different things, but also giving you ideas of stuff to do, like eating 3 healthy meals a day, drinking plenty of water, getting the right amount of sleep. I believe that, and I believe through my Bearded Chef Sask career as a personal chef, that there's 3 key things to maintain healthy. Eat right for you, sleep right for you, and exercise right for you, because everybody's different. Everybody has different jobs. Everybody has different bodies. Everybody has different ages. So what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for the other. You have to do what's right for you. So again, back to health meal plans, I can help with that as well. Make sure that you're doing something fun, or watching a TV show, playing a music instrument, reading a good book, riding your bike, whatever it is that you find that you like to do, aside from exercise, because exercise, as I said, is a separate part. Things like writing in your journal, talking to a friend on the telephone, making sure you take your medications. Those are all things that you might just kind of write down and maybe keep on your fridge or in your car or whatever it is, just to remind yourself to do those types of things all the time. Having a daily maintenance plan is a good idea. Making sure that you're feeling well, and maybe keeping a journal where you have maybe colored stickers on each day to point out how you feel. I have one of those going right here. This is that. And I also have goals and whatnot in here. But what I do is I have, well, I won't show it right now. What I have is like a calendar for each month. And then I put a colored sticker, or I made my own legend, I guess, where I have different colors for different feelings. And then I can track when I'm feeling at different times of the month, which is how I figured out I struggle at this time of month. Write down your dreams and goals. Make a daily list of the things you need to do. Again, like eating your meals, getting exposure to outdoor light, not just indoor light. Very important. Drink at least 6 to 8 ounce glasses of water every day. Super important. Take 20 minutes to relax or meditate or pray if you pray. Take 15 minutes to write in your journal every day. Spend at least half an hour a day doing something fun. Whether it's just, again, a creative activity or watching a TV show. Checking in with your partner if you have a partner. If you're single, maybe it's good to check in with a friend or a family member. And of course, if you're working, make sure you go to work. I don't work, I'm on disability, so that's why it's really good for me to have the church here to come to. One of the other things I want to talk about is, if those things aren't working, is crisis planning, of course. Let's get into, first of all, let's touch on early warning signs. When you're struggling with mental illnesses, recognizing your early warning signs is very important. Once you've established your baseline through writing in your journal, We start feeling a little more anxious than normal, a little more nervous than normal, a little more forgetful than normal. Maybe you're pacing around. I tend to pace around oftentimes. You have inability to experience pleasures, lack of motivation, not sleeping well, not eating well, not drinking your water. You're more angry. You're less caring. You're not keeping your appointments. You're restless. That's when it's time to start thinking about your crisis plan. And some of the ideas for a crisis plan would be calling your doctor, or calling your psychiatrist if you have one, or calling a friend or family member who you've learned to trust. Making sure that you talk to your support groups. Are you going to your support groups? Arrange for someone, maybe call someone to come and visit and stay for a while. Call someone to come visit. Make sure you go out for coffee with a friend, or if you're in a 12-step program, call your sponsor. In our Celebrate Recovery, we have what we call encouragers. And so I have an encourager. So when I'm struggling real bad, I'm not very good at calling. So what I do is I send him a message on Facebook, because then he can respond. But a lot of times for me, just getting it out there helps me to deal with myself until he comes. But of course, if it's serious, I call. Or at least I'm learning to. Make sure you've taken your medication. Make sure, I guess I should go back, when you're planning your weeks out, make sure that you're taking at least one self-care day per week. Make sure self-care is very, 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 very important. And so once you've started to recognize some of those symptoms, and you started maybe putting your action plan into play. Personal hygiene is another thing you might not have recognized. Big thing is, as I said before, staying connected. Get connected, stay connected, so that your friends and family can identify your baseline. Your baseline is what you're normally like. So sometimes people go up, sometimes people go below. When I get really bad, I go down. Or when I'm thinking suicidal, I go extremely up, like I'm trying to cover up so people can't recognize my baseline. And I've been very open about that, so that because that's too much. If you start to abuse alcohol or drugs, or refusing to eat, that's time to do something. If you're not sleeping at all, time to do something. I don't mean just insomnia, I mean irregular sleep patterns. And so make sure you have an action plan in place. I think it's very important for mental health. I just want to share real quickly, I'm doing monthly mental health goals. I want to share my mental health goals. Last month I made sure that I made a self-care day. Now this month, I want to make sure that I take one self-care day per week, which has turned out to be Fridays. My second goal is to read a book. My third goal is to do a deep breathing meditation at least once per week. My fourth goal is to do something fun outdoors, because I'm not good at getting outdoors. And my fifth goal is to go for a walk at least once per week without my phone and without music playing in my ears, so I can get some solitude and serenity. So hopefully this will help you a little bit. Again, so I'm going to post this. I'll get the article that I'm reading this off of onto the page. I will get my mental health goals onto the page. I hope that you will join me with them. And if you do decide to join me with your mental health goals, please let me know, and we can keep each other accountable, because I'd love to have people help me, of course, but I'm all about helping people helping people, which is why I started the Celebrate Recovery group. So, have an awesome day. I hope that your struggle isn't too bad today. Or if nothing else, I hope that I can have made your struggle a little bit easier. On your good days, here's another thing I do. I have this in here as well. This one's in this book. I don't know where I put it again either. I'm not very good. I didn't organize this thing at all. They got the wrong things on them. Anyways, what I do is on your good days, write down reasons to keep on fighting. And on your bad days, you can read over that list. So I started writing down positive encouragement when other people are encouraging me. I wrote it down so that on my bad days, I can go back and read what people have said to me and or sent to me. So again, thank you very much. Have an awesome day. Please reach out when you can. Love ya.